Hey guys, what is up? Jeff here for One Fish, Two Fish. Today we are going to do an update video that I have been waiting to do for months. Months and months and months and months and months and months and months. You guys have heard me talk about it a half a dozen times. You guys have seen videos of it. You guys have seen the building of it, but you've never seen the finished product because it has taken us forever to get going. Today we are going to show you guys our final product of our quarantine system. And by final product, I mean very close to final product. It is, all the tanks have finally arrived. My plumber was very quick to get everything lined up for me. I'm going to show you guys how we actually are able to take care of so many tanks and cheat a little bit. How we actually do very good water changes to all these tanks. And we're sort of lazy about it. I'm going to show you guys why we changed some stuff around. I'm going to show you guys the very big disadvantage that I have, the very expensive, costly going forward disadvantage that I have. But the advantages to it should outweigh them 5 to 1, and hopefully we are able to offer a much better product, which in the end is all we're basically trying to do. We want to be able to give you guys, you know, quarantining your fish is the best thing you can do, but our goal is to make it as sort of dummy proof as we can, to make it as little needed as we can, and send you home with the healthiest fish possible. So let's take a walk back. If you guys will remember, anytime I've shown you guys the coral tanks, it has always just been these right here. Big old stupid ladder in the way is kind of ruining our video, but as you can see, we are now full of our tanks. So when I say we are mostly done, there is obviously a few things that we still need to do. We still need to hang our lights. You know, this is just a basic. We still have to get all of our water, all of our air lines. You know how you can tell this one here is just pumping out the air. This one's doing really well. This one is struggling to get air, so we do have to tie in a couple of them. So these are 33-gallon QT tanks. They were all custom built by our guys at Concept Aquarium. Shout out Concept Aquarium in Calgary. If you're looking for any tanks or anything, you can shoot us a message. We order all direct from them, and we have the ability to actually ship direct to your house. So each rack, as you can tell, 4, 8, 12 on each of the racks, and we just put up these two. So any old videos you guys have seen would have had these. Now the original plan was to go a rack of 4, a rack of 4, and then a rack of 2. But because of the way the tanks got built, and mostly my own fault by just changing my order midway through, which kind of is usually something I get yelled at for, but he was pretty nice to just do it for me. We did have to swap out a little bit of this stuff, so what we ended up doing was, because these came first, we ended up going 4 and then 2 big, 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 big. So what it should have actually been was this row here and this row here should have also been down here and down there, which would have actually looked a lot better, a lot slicker. But, you know, it is what it is. This is just a quarantine system. But, you know, you can tell these fish have been so much better that it's really not even close. A bunch of Corys, a bunch of Neon Dwarf Rainbows, some Odessa Barbs. These are a very popular fish. Have gotten very expensive over the last couple of years, mostly months, for us to be able to bring in. They've almost doubled in price. Really nice gouramis. I figure I'll give you guys just a quick run through of a couple of the fish. Always some nice mollies, flatties, marble mollies, Seapay tetras. These guys are a really nice fish. Add some pop to your tank. Really dark jet black. Some neon black high fin platies, really nice fish. Just some regular Joe Blow tuxedo platies. Red tail sharks. Beautiful clown loaches. So guys, really quick, let's run through the biggest, the biggest thing I hate about these, the biggest disadvantage that these systems are going to give me is going to be heat, electricity. The old system ran all together, so the ability to heat it was a lot easier. I could heat one tank, it would run off of 3, and the heat would kind of transfer through all of them. These are all individual, every single one. So what it requires is a whole bunch of stuff on our end to get ready for it. Obviously, we had to have our electrician come in to put in new plugs to everything. Joys of it are, our electrician is a good customer of ours, and he does get to us much quicker than probably we should. So he was able to come in and add a bunch of plugs to us. Because in a store environment like ours, we're not allowed to use power bars or anything like that. So we do have to do everything. Every plug needs to have individuals. So when we added this, every tank was going to require its own plug. When we added 24 tanks, obviously we had to add 24 plugs. We had most because we knew we were going to get to this at some point. So we had a lot of it set up, but we did have to add a little bit more electricity to it. And the way these sort of work are when they're in use, the heaters are plugged in. When they're not, the heaters are unplugged. So I'm going to give you guys, now this is gonna look like a bit of a mess. I will warn you going in, but I am going to show you guys how we are able to be a little bit lazy. Look at these guys, beauties, eh? Beauty cichlids. Some really nice size cichlids in there. So you can see a couple of these all have aqua clear filters on them. Only about a third of the tanks are getting filters. Therefore, mostly wild caught ones that just are a little dirtier. You can see there's just tons of wiring, tubing, and everything going around. So let me show you what we did to make this simple for us. So if you can see up here, so this is a water line. So all of our tanks are drilled in 2 spots. Drilled in 1 spot for a drain. Our overflows, we just sort of built our own. Our returns, I mean, we built our own. So every one of our tanks has got a 1-inch monster drain, and then we have something on the end to make sure, on the inside of them, to make sure fish can't go through them. So every one of them has the ability to drain water. So the way our system works, for us to run this entire system, we had our guy who is a magician with this stuff. He came in and he ran all of these. Okay, so every one of these, so this does 3 tanks. This does 3 tanks, except on the big systems. So the big systems, we double them up. So on this system here, 2 will go to this one. Actually, 3 go to this one and 3 go to this one. So what this does is once every 12 hours, this whole system turns on. And then in the back room, we've got a very large pump. This is a horrible video. You guys can't, I'm trying to keep this going. In the back room, we've got a pump, and it pumps up through our ceiling. You can actually see it come in through our ceiling. And then it comes down, and then it runs to all of our pipes. When it does, each one of these tanks, every single one on the entire row, gets a small water change. I believe we have it set that the top ones get a 3-gallon water change every day, and the big ones get a 6-gallon water change every day. Now, the reason we do that, because a lot of our tanks in the quarantine system will get some type of, pre-medication, or they'll get a little something to just give them the jump through to make sure they're healthy going to you guys. Another big guy here I'm going to show you guys. The size of these blood parrots. Came in beautiful. So we will put them through some type of quarantine, the only reason for that is it is a minor thing compared to what you would do if you actually had a disease. It's basically just a cocktail of this, that, and the other to just make sure that we're getting rid of. Let me get my that we're getting rid of any of the just basic stuff so that you guys don't end up with it in your tanks. So the reason we do small everyday water changes instead of setting it, and we could do it sort of however we wanted, instead of doing it the 1 day a week, you know, a 20% water change, which is what a lot of you guys are going to be doing. The reason we don't do that is because our medication would go right out of the water very quick, and we want to be able to keep these guys as healthy as we can. We want to keep them in as clean water as we can. Especially the wild caught, when it comes in very dirty. It's just how it is. They've come in, they've been in bags for quite a while, you know, up to 2 days. We get fish in all the time that have been in bags for 40 plus hours. They're always okay. They come in sometimes rough, we put them in, and as soon as they get into some clean water, you know, 95% of the time they're bouncing right back. So the reason we did the smaller water changes was to minimize the amount of medication that we're losing in the tanks, but also be able to give them new water every day. So we have another system in the back. I can't show it to you because of where it is. It's behind. It's just very hard to get to, and with a camera I wouldn't be able to actually in fact show it to you. But we have a filter system in the back that runs the water. It does everything that you guys will do with just a chemical. It runs through some carbon. It runs through 2 different filters before it actually gets into our tanks, and then it goes through the tanks 2 separate times in a day. It goes through at, I believe, at like 10 a.m. it does its first run, and then maybe 7 p.m. We have them set right when we're here so that if anything goes wrong with them, obviously there's no floods, because obviously all of these tanks, let me see if I can show them to you, all of these tanks are set run, and you can actually see there's a water change being done right now. So if you can see the water draining into that tank, that is coming from about 25 separate tanks. So you can see how actually little amounts of water are going in it. And then we have a pump that just automatically sets whenever that water gets up high enough. That pump will turn on and it will pump it through the ceiling into our drain, and we don't actually have to touch them. So for us to do a full water change on these whole systems, it costs money, but it's really no actual effort. We don't actually have to do any of the work to it, which is, as you guys know with fish tanks, the easier you can set it up, the better it is. So this tank is in the midst of getting replaced. We're going to add a little bit bigger of a tank to it, and something that's just a little bit longer, just to give us a little bit. We're actually going to add a second pump to it as well, again, just to dumb it down. You know, when we're doing stuff like this, we always try to keep it as simple as we can. If we can add a second pump to, you know, to prevent a problem, we do. If we can add this, if we can add that, if it prevents, you know, what we may run into as, you know, if we come in one day and this malfunctions and keeps running, the amount of water it could put on the store would just be atrocious. So we always double everything up when we can, to keep it, to make sure that, to keep it so that we're not, you know, for $100 to prevent a problem, we always double up on everything where we can. So, so there you go, guys. This is a work in progress. Like I said, we still have, it's running. All of the filters are good, all of the sponge filters. We knew this was going to be a while, so we have had, you know, we had been preconditioning our sponge filters back a long time ago. So the ability to get it running once we had it was actually super simple. It was just a matter of adding water to them all, getting everything plumbed in, which is what we did, and we were able to do it very quick. All the guys that were doing those jobs basically were in within a couple days, so that was very nice. So yeah, but we'll keep you guys up to date on this, and we'll give you guys an actual walkthrough when it's all lit up. When we get the lights added to it, that's going to be nice. When we get all of the sponge filters dialed in, all the ones with fish that have all been dialed in, they've all had some time there. You know, obviously if they've got fish in them, we've got to make sure they're good. So we have There is a couple that we do need to dial in a little bit more just to make sure that they're getting enough air. Some of the bigger ones we actually have to double up. We're also going to add a bristlenose pleco to every one of these tanks that aren't going to be for sale. We're just going to put one of every one in, just to help us out, keeping the tanks look a little bit better and keeping the fish happier. So there you go, guys. Just to give you guys an idea, this whole system was around $15,000. So that is why when you see in a lot of spots why they don't have big quarantine systems, to set stuff like that up is very expensive, especially if you've done it like we did a couple of times wrong, not to the way we sort of wanted to do it. So for us to and again, after we've done it wrong a couple times, it wasn't a money thing. It was just making sure we did it the way we wanted it. The ability to keep everything the other way was much better. It was easier to take care of with everything running together. The downfall to it was always if something got sick in that system, we couldn't sell anything out of it. We had to deal with the entire thing. Where here, if something is sick in any one of these, that just prevents that fish from moving forward. It also, we're not getting new fish sick. We're not getting healthy fish going through more treatment than they need to, which is awesome. Because in the end, we're all big fish people here. We love fish. Obviously, we wouldn't be doing this if we didn't. So we do try to keep them as healthy as possible. And when they get to their forever homes, which is you guys, we do want you guys to have as much success as possible. So there you go, guys. That is a much anticipated update video that I've wanted to do for many months. Everything was just so backed up. It's nice to have it here. And once we get lights and everything to it, we'll give you another quick update video to it, and we'll show you what it all looks like. There you go, guys. See you later. We'll see you in the next one.